Please, for the love of God, Blizzard, do not make World of Warcraft go. I recently began to notice a very concerning trend within the gaming industry. Major AAA companies are starting to push their PC and console-based franchises into the mobile market. Now, in a business sense, this is the absolute right thing to do. Mobile games are extremely lucrative and the market for them is trending upward. Games like Clash Royale, Candy Crush Saga, and of course Pokémon Go are raking in millions upon millions of cash every month. However, the mobile gaming world is vastly different from the PC and console gaming world. Most mobile gamers do not want or care for AAA franchises like Call of Duty or World of Warcraft to become a mobile title, and PC and console gamers most certainly do not want it as well. Unfortunately, AAA game developers have not kept their ear to the ground and are seemingly unaware of how poorly they are handling their big franchises by shifting them to mobile. This
do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
Approach to your fan base is what's going to cause them to leave in droves. The whole
"you think you do, but you don't"
approach to what your fan base actually wants for your franchises is also going to create a rift. Some studios just need to stay in their lane and keep doing what they were always known for. Otherwise, they will destroy themselves in the long term. What is up, you guys? It's me, it's Count, here with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about something that's a little bit more personal for me, mainly because I'm going to be talking about a franchise that I have a deep fondness for, and I'm really afraid of this franchise being ruined and driven into the ground by the company that owns it, mainly because of how the gaming market is trending. And I really think the message behind this video is important, especially for the video game industry, and I really hope this company, more specifically Blizzard Entertainment, actually pays attention to this message, because this is very representative of the fan base for their big franchise Warcraft, and I really think that for a lot of us who have been playing Pokemon Go, this is something that we absolutely do not want. So if you end up enjoying this video, if you enjoy the message behind this video, make sure you smash that like button, share this with your friends, especially if you are engrossed in the Warcraft franchise. I really think the thing behind this video is extremely important, especially for the future of this franchise. So yeah, and if it's your first time here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as that little bell. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Blizzard Entertainment used to be the pinnacle of quality when it came to PC games, and I want to put a huge emphasis on used to be. With games such as World of Warcraft, StarCraft 2, and Overwatch, just to name a few, Blizzard has always had the reputation of being a gamer-first studio. Everything they ever produced or announced has rarely disappointed their raving fans. And then Diablo Immortal happened. In what has got to be one of the biggest blunders for this company, the announcement of Diablo Immortal revealed a very disturbing shift at Blizzard Entertainment. Rather than continuing to produce quality PC gaming content, they wanted to shift their sights to the lucrative mobile gaming world. And Diablo would be the first PC gaming franchise they would sacrifice to this new medium. Their mantra was no longer about making games for gamers, but instead making games to appease shareholders. And this became extremely apparent with this announcement. Shortly after the announcement of Diablo Immortal, the higher-ups at Blizzard also announced that they would be moving some of their best talents to a mobile development division. Rather than feeding more development into their existing content, they were stripping them down to the bare bones so that they can produce phone games. Now herein lies the problem. Blizzard is not Niantic. Blizzard is not Supercell. Blizzard is not a phone game company. So why are they trying to be? Like most AAA developers today, Blizzard is going through a bit of an identity crisis. The trajectory of the gaming world indicates that PC and console gaming is slowly diminishing in terms of profit. With the massive exception of Fortnite and Apex Legends, players are not as interested in PC gaming as they used to be. Maybe this is because the younger generation of gamers are only interested in games as a service. Maybe this is because most gamers nowadays are looking for instant gratification instead of an earned experience. Or maybe it's because the business models of AAA studios are driven more by shareholders and investors, and true-to-form gamers are sick of it. Regardless of what the reason may be, these major studios are missing the mark with their players, and I really don't think pushing content into a completely different platform, one that these studios have no right being in, is the right direction. One of my best gaming experiences in the past year was the new God of War. The story was phenomenal, the battle mechanics were top-notch, there was so much for me to enjoy and it left me craving for more. These are some of the experiences that I often miss from Blizzard Entertainment games. Over time, it seemed like Blizzard games were slowly devolving into a lifeless cash grab. Games like World of Warcraft and Diablo were no longer about amazing gameplay and story, but store mounts, appealing to the masses rather than the hardcore, and blatant reaches for my wallet with in-game services like character transfers and name changes. Instead of listening to their community, instead of improving their games in a way that best fits the needs of gamers, Blizzard is seemingly doing the exact opposite. They're dismissing their community and doing whatever it takes to be profitable, and that could essentially be the downfall of this studio. So with all of that context, let's talk about this supposed Warcraft-themed Pokemon Go game that Blizzard is rumored to be developing, and why I absolutely hate this idea. I really want Blizzard to realize that if they were to make a Warcraft-themed Pokemon Go game without Niantic, it is pretty much destined to fail. Like pretty much every Pokemon Go ripoff that came before it, Warcraft Go would essentially be 100 steps behind, and it would just make the game seem amateur. Draconius Go, Garfield Go, Jurassic World Alive, just to name a few, all tried to cash in on the Pokemon Go craze, and none of them ever matched or even came close to the level of success that Pokemon Go has had. Because these games lacked the brainpower of Niantic when it came to this genre, they were always seen as games that were merely trying to be Pokemon Go. What's ironic is that Blizzard is all too familiar with this position, but on the opposite end of it. When World of Warcraft was exploding, many clones and ripoffs also emerged. Some came close to dethroning WoW, but none of them ever hit the numbers World of Warcraft boasted. If Blizzard were to try their hands on a Pokemon Go clone, the tables would suddenly turn. Blizzard would now become the Guild Wars to their World of Warcraft. They would try to do what Star Wars The Old Republic and what Rift was doing. Rather than being the undisputed king of a genre, they would be the ones forever chasing that crown. Yeah, sure, some of these MMOs were pretty great games, but they never were able to escape World of Warcraft's shadow, and for the most part, they were always viewed as wannabe World of Warcraft games. Now, I know what you're thinking. World of Warcraft itself was a ripoff of another game, and to that, I would argue and say that World of Warcraft wasn't intended to cash in on a popular MMO genre, simply because it wasn't popular at all when it first started. Instead, they were trying to perfect it and popularize it, and to that, I actually think they succeeded. What's different here is that EverQuest, which a lot of players would accuse World of Warcraft of ripping off, was not popular or mainstream at the time, whereas Pokemon Go has already dominated and claimed the augmented reality gameplay genre. If Pokemon Go was a small game with a niche audience, then yes, Warcraft Go would have been something to be excited about. It could have been the game to popularize a genre which before was only towards a niche audience, but that is simply not the case here. Pokemon Go is huge. It has an active worldwide audience of tens of millions of players. It's beyond just a niche market. Warcraft Go would only live under the shadow of this behemoth. Blizzard needs to go back to what they were always known for. They need to innovate, set the trend instead of chasing it. Surely they could take a game like Pokemon Go and take it into a whole different direction. They could innovate on an already existing mechanic and try to provide even Pokemon Go players with different and all new experiences. There's just one problem. Blizzard already tried to do something like this with one of their existing games, and it failed. When I heard that Blizzard was developing their own version of Pokemon Go, my immediate thought was that they didn't learn their lesson from Heroes of the Storm. With the massive popularity of the MOBA genre, Blizzard decided to take what was originally supposed to be just a custom map for StarCraft 2 and turn it into their own slice of the MOBA pie. The concept behind the game was intriguing. It was meant to be the Smash Brothers of Blizzard Entertainment, an all-star brawler that had all of your favorite characters from your favorite Blizzard franchises and having them fight to the death in an extremely popular game format. For what it's worth, Heroes of the Storm should have been a runaway success. The game was fun and unique. It was filled to the brim with fan-favorite characters. The look and feel of the game was amazing and vibrant and was completely satisfying. However, it ended up crashing and burning simply because Heroes of the Storm could never get out of the shadows of League of Legends and Dota 2. Anything great about Heroes was completely undermined by the fact that it was late to the party. There were so many things Blizzard did right in terms of making Heroes a fun and unique twist on the genre. However, it couldn't change the fact that players just didn't care to try it out because they already had League and Dota 2. What's really depressing is that Blizzard is failing to realize that a game like Warcraft Go would inevitably have the same fate. Warcraft just isn't mainstream enough of an IP for it to gain widespread audiences, and the core audience of Warcraft games wouldn't be interested in a game like Pokémon Go. So as a closing thought, I want to drive home the point that Pokémon Go works because this sort of game makes sense for Pokémon. This franchise has always been driven by the idea of exploring and capturing rare and unique creatures. It just works for this sort of gameplay. But when people think of Warcraft, they don't think about walking around in a park trying to catch little critters. They think of orcs, they think of goblins, elves, demons, they think about fighting for the Horde, they think about battling for the Alliance. What they think about is the immense lore that involves factions, politics, space travel, and all sorts of wacky genre-bending goodness. Warcraft will always be a great franchise to me, but only because the franchise worked for the games that they've had. Warcraft is phenomenal for MMOs and RTSs. It just doesn't work for a game like Pokémon Go. Blizzard Entertainment is not a mobile game development studio. It never was. It never should be. Even a game like Hearthstone was only popular because of its core PC-based audience. What makes Blizzard Blizzard is not a slew of phone games that are just rip-offs of already existing franchises. It's the unique and quality-driven PC experiences like Warcraft 3, Diablo 2, and StarCraft. These are the games that Blizzard should stick to. These are the games they should create, but if they want to feed into their own downfall, then games like Warcraft Go will only speed up the process. Anyway guys, that's going to be it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and again, this is supposed to be a discussion. I would love to know your thoughts regarding Warcraft Go. Are you intrigued at the idea of this game existing, or are you completely against it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below, and if you ended up enjoying this video, don't forget to hit that like button, share this with your friends. Let's get the word out that a game like Warcraft Go is just simply not going to work. But yeah, if it's your first time here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as that little bell. I am Count Jinsula, and I'll catch you all later.